guys, I'm Mayank from Brick&Bolt and welcome to the third episode of Before You Build by Brick&Bolt. In this series, we're going to explain you each and everything that you need to know before you start your construction. Whether you want to build a residential place or a commercial place or something in the middle, anything that you have to know about the regulations or what you need to look at before you start the construction will be covered in this series. So let's begin. Some of the factors that are considered while doing this is zoning regulations, building codes, permits, inspections, environmental regulations, accessibility, and finally certificates, which is occupancy and completion certificates. So we'll deep dive on each and every point going forward. Yeah, so the first and the most important factor to consider before you build your home is zoning regulations. So depending on where your plot is, where you want to construct, say if it is a residential zone, an industrial zone, or if it's a commercial zone, or it's mixed land use, which is partly commercial and partly residential, there will be different rules applicable for the building. So it's very important to know before you begin which zone your plot belongs to. So the second factor to consider is compliance with building codes. So the building codes are minimum building measures and safety measures that have to be followed during construction. So these depend on a couple of things. First being the regular population density in your area. So suppose if you live in, the plot is in an area which is densely populated, you might be able to build lesser per square feet of your plot against an area which is not that, which is very scarcely populated, where you will be able to build more. The second factor that is considered in building norms is fire safety. So how accessible your plot is to fire equipment, how soon can the building be evacuated during a fire emergency, and things like that. Now, infrastructure management. Infrastructure management talks about how accessible your building is to the utilities in your locality, which is the electricity board, the electricity connection, the water supply, and things like that. So finally, the height of the building. So height of the buildings are generally restricted in different areas. Suppose if your plot is next to an airport, that area to provide you utilities is not at height, so your building height will be restricted in such areas. The third and a very important factor before you construct your home is availing permits. Now before you avail permits, you need to know in your local area what are the zoning regulations, what are the building codes, what are the safety measures followed. So this is very important since after the construction of your building, the local authority will give you a certificate that deems your property to be according to safety measures and according to all building regulations. So the fourth factor before you build your home are inspections. So each and every stage of your project will be inspected by the local government authority. So these inspections are carried out to make sure that your building abides by all building permits that are local to that area and the building codes. So it's very important to get in touch with the local inspector and schedule these appointments as and when required. These will be done for your framing layout, your electrical layout, and finally finishing of the building. The fifth point to consider is environmental regulations. It's very important to consider environmental regulations to make sure that your construction is responsible towards the environment and the natural resources, and we don't affect them in any way. So depending on if your plot is in an area which has close proximity to wetlands or rivers and streams or coastal areas, there will be different regulations that you might have to follow. So it is very important for you to understand which area your plot belongs into, and if your construction could affect the natural resources or these sensitive ecosystems. Moving on to the sixth factor, which is accessibility requirements. So do you know what accessibility requirement means? So you must have been to parks or community halls or hospitals in your area where you must have seen that it has ramps so that disabled people can also access the building. So that is exactly what accessibility requirements is. You have to ensure that while you're constructing, these buildings have provisions for disabled people to access it. So seventh and the final factor to consider is occupancy and completion certificate. So completion certificate is a legal document that is provided by a local building authority that ensures that a building is abiding by all building norms and it is built according to the zonal regulations and building codes. So they will check whether it is constructed according to the approved plans and bylaws. It will check for any fire NOC measures, basic amenities and building norms. So once this is through, you will receive the completion certificate, post which you will receive an occupancy certificate which will be legally required for you to move into the property. So that will also, again, the occupancy certificate will ensure that the building is built according to the norms. In conclusion, building requirements and regulations might vary greatly from region to region. So it is very important for you to check with your local authority about the processes and regulations prevalent in that area. So that's it for today. If you like the video and you want more construction insights from our side, please don't forget to like and subscribe and share the video with your friends.